Welcome back sa ating income taxation class. So we are still in chapter 4, income taxation on individuals. This time, we will try to apply yung principles and concepts ng taxation sa individuals. Ako pa rin ang inyong teacher for this semester, Romualdo Fernandez Credo. So before we start, allow me to acknowledge my references for my income taxation discussion. So I use the books of Sir Winlu Balyada, Attorney Virgilio Reyes, Sir Rex Bangawan, and Sir Jack De Vera. So if you are ready, please get a pen and a paper for you to write your notes. So let's solve problem. So let me reiterate. You need to have a paper and a ball pen beside you for you to jot down important information sa problem. Para pag-present natin ng solution, hindi kayo mawawala. Hindi nyo tatanungin saan kinuha yung amount. Sige, bigyan ko pa kayo ng chance, 5 seconds to get your pen and paper. Okay, time is up. So, before we proceed, allow me to recall yung important concepts, no? Na diniscuss natin previously. Ang isang importante dito is yung classification ng individual taxpayer. Kasi depende, iba ang treatment depende sa classification ng taxpayer. So we have ano yung classification natin ng taxpayer? We have resident citizen, non-resident citizen, resident alien, non-resident alien engaged in business, and non-resident alien not engaged in business. So it is important to note na doon sa nabanggit nating classification, yun lang resident citizen ang tax within and without. So the rest, ang taxable lang na income nila ay yung na-earn sa Philippines. So pag sinabi nating tax within and without or globally taxed siya, ibig sabihin kahit saan niya na-earn yung income niya, yung resident citizen, taxable. Na-earn niya sa Philippines o na-earn niya sa other countries is taxable. While yung other classification na binanggit natin kanina, magiging taxable lang yung income niya sa Philippines pag na-earn niya sa Philippines. In other words, kapag na-earn niya yan sa other country, hindi na magiging taxable sa Philippines. So, hindi mo na isasama. And then, another thing na kailangan yung malaman is yung you have to classify yung income ng individual. So, kapag ang income niya ay passive, yung passive investment income, yung naka-table na present ko last discussion natin, yung maraming percent, paki-memorize yun ay tinatawag natin subject to final tax. So, pag final tax na yun, so hindi mo na isasama sa gross income niya. Kasi wala nang problema yun. It is correct na yung pag-withheld ng tax doon sa income na yon. Bago mo kasi siya ma-receive, deducted na yung tax. Another is kapag yan ay capital gain, so iba rin ang rates ng capital gains tax. Sale of real property yon, yung subject to capital gain, o saka sale ng shares of stock. So, hindi mo rin siya isasama sa gross income. So, yung other income niya is taxable na using yung graduated rates natin na present natin dun sa rules. Or pwede rin mag-apply sa kanya, depende sa case, yung bago ngayon yung 8% na rate. Depende, diniscuss naman na natin kung kailan mag-i-apply yung graduated rate at saka yung rate na 8%. So ngayon i-apply natin, i-refresh natin yung sa rule. Okay, so allow me to read the problem. Mr. Bienvenido is a minimum wage earner. So, employed siya. He has no other source of income aside from his employment. Kaya nga, ang problem na ito ay na-classify under pure compensation income case. No? So, wala siyang ibang income other than yung sahod. Kasi employed siya. He earned a total compensation of 125,000. So, paki-take note dyan. In both cases dito, 125 ang kanyang gross compensation income. So, pakilagay na dyan. Case A and B, gross compensation income niya is 125. For case A, so 125 yung kanyang gross compensation income, may additional dito sa case A lang, applicable to. Mr. Bienvenido's contribution to SSS, PhilHealth, and HDMF, pag-ibig yun, amounted to 7,000. Tapos, he received his 13-month pay amounting to 10,000. The question is, what is Mr. Bienvenido's income tax liability for the year? So, ulitin natin, ito yung given sa case A. Total compensation income, paki-check, 125,000. SSS PhilHealth HMDF contribution, 7,000. 13-month pay is 10,000. What is Mr. Bienvenido's income tax liability for the year? So, yun yung given sa A. Sa B naman, in addition dun sa kanyang 125,000 na gross compensation income, meron siyang 13-month pay, and additional compensation income. He also received the following additional pay. So, meron pa siyang additional pay, overtime pay, 70,000, night shift differential, 20,000, hazard pay, 15, and holiday pay, 20,000 pesos. Compute for Mr. Bienvenido's income tax due for the year. Okay, so pag-take note sa case B, 125,000. And then in addition daw doon sa na-receive niya na compensation income, which is yung 125,000 at saka 13-month pay, meron pang additional na eto, 70,000 overtime pay, night shift differential 20,000, hazard pay 15,000, holiday pay 20,000. Compute for Mr. Bienvenido's tax due for the year. Okay, so sa letter A, meron siyang compensation income of 125,000 and then i-deduct mo lang yung mga deductions na allowed under sa ating tax code. So, una doon is yung mandatory contribution kasi exempted by law, yung sa SSS, GSIS, Pag-ibig, PhilHealth. So, ang total na contribution doon, mandatory contribution is 7,000 and then yung kanyang benefits, 13-month pay and other benefits ay pasok doon sa cut-off, no? So, exempted lahat yon. So, minus 10,000, hindi yun taxable. So, tanggalin mo para hindi matax. So, minus 17,000, it is 108. So, he is a minimum wage earner. And, yung income naman niya is below 250,000. Kaya, wala siyang tax na babayaran. The taxpayer is exempt. Ang letter B naman, aside from yung kanyang compensation income na 125, meron na siya pang other income, overtime, night differential, hazard, and holiday pay amounting to also 125,000 yung total nun. So, 250 ang kanyang taxable income. Minus yung mandatory contribution, yung 7,000 na galing sa taas, galing din sa case A, and then yung kanyang non-taxable benefit na pasok doon sa cut-off, so minus 17,233,000. So, hindi pa rin pasok sa 250,000 na minimum amount ng income to be taxed based sa ating tax table. So, therefore, it is also exempt. Okay, problem 1B. This is a similar problem to problem 1A. So therefore, this will be your assignment. Pakisulat lang sa paper yung solution and then pakipicturean and then pasend sa ating Google Classroom yung inyong mga sagot. Picturean. I will be posting yung link kung saan ilalagay immediately. No? Anyway, hindi naman ipapaska agad. You have all the time naman to prepare, to solve for this one. No? Anyway, after nito, itong taxation in individual, isunod natin kaagad yung corporation and then magkakaroon kayo ng periodical exam. Miss Abrial is the owner of Bebe Party Favors. She also worked as a party host. In 2018, her store gross sales amounted to 1.2 million gross receipts and has earned as a party host amounted to 450,000. She has signified her intention to be taxed at 8% income tax rate in her first quarter income tax return. What is Miss Abrial's income tax liability for 2018? So, ulitin natin yung given sa problems. Gross sales amounted to 1.2 million. Yung kanyang gross receipts as party host, 450,000. Then, sa case B, assume that Miss Abrial failed to signify her intention to be taxed at 8% income tax rate on gross sales or receipts for the first quarter. Ang kanyang cost of sales incurred in 2018 amounted to 850,000 while her operating expenses ay 380,000. Compute for Miss Abrial's income tax due. So, dun sa una, 8% ang gagamitin kasi yun ang gusto niya. Qualified naman siya. Kailan ba siya magpa-qualify ng 8% kapag ang kanyang gross receipts ay hindi na-reach yung 3 million na revenue cap sa value added tax. So, kasi siya ang pipili. Ayan. So, pag hindi niya na-signify yung kanyang intention na mag 8%, so ibig sabihin, regular tax siya. So, ito yung additional information na kailangan para sa regular tax. Yung cost of sales niya, 850, and yung operating expenses is 380,000. So, nakuha nyo na yung information sa case B lang. Ang madadagdag lang yung information na 850 at saka 350 sa case B. So, ang magiging solution sa case A is i-add mo lang yung 1.2 million na gross sales niya sa Bebe Party Favors and then yung gross receipts niya as party host, so 1,650,000. Since gagamit siya ng 8%, ay pipiliin niya yung 8% na tax rate, diba? You have to deduct yung 250,000 na minimum doon sa ating train, no? So, ang magiging taxable income lang niya, so 1,650,000 minus 250, it is 1.4 million. Times 8%, yan. Ang babayaran niyang tax, ang kanyang tax liability is 112,000. Pero sa case B, kapag hindi niya pipiliin yung 8%, so magiging subject siya ng graduated tax rate. Marunong na kayong gumamit ng graduated tax rate. Tinuro ko na yan sa last video natin, di ba? So, from doon sa gross sales and receipts niya na 1,650,000, inad na yung dalawa, yung sa gross sales from Bebe at saka yung kanyang host income na 400,000 plus yata. So, ang total nun is 1,650,000. So, ibabawas mo yung kanyang cost of sales. So, ang kanyang gross income is 800 and then Finally, bawas mo pa rin yung operating expenses amounting to 380,000. So, ang taxable income niya is 420,000. So, kung titingnan mo yung tax table, so dapat naisulat mo na ngayon, mayroon ka ng copy ngayon ng tax table. So, titignan mo kung nasa ang range yung 420,000, nasa 400. To not less than, not over rather, 800. So, ang sabi doon, ang tax ng, ang sabi sa table, ang tax ng 400,000 is 30,000, and then yung excess, 420,000 minus 400, kasi may tax na yung 400, 30,000 nga, multiply mo yung ng additional, kaya magkaroon siya ng additional tax na 25%. So, 25% of 20,000, yung difference ng 420 sa 400 is 5,000. So, ang kanyang total tax liability is 35,000. Again, yung problem 2B ay assignment since it is very much similar sa problem 2A. So, pakipicturean niya na. Ulitin ko yung answer dito sa problem na assignment na i-assign ko sa inyo will be uploaded sa link. Magbibigay ako ng link para sa inyong mga solution. Problem 3A. So, we are still on income from self-employment. So, self-employed pa rin siya, income from business pa rin siya. Purely, yun ang kanyang source ng kanyang income. So, pakibalikan lang yung rules natin, no? Mr. Adolfo, owner of Aziz Sport Shop, opted to be taxed at 8% income tax rate. So, kailan pwede ulit matax ng 8%? Kapag ang iyong gross business income is hindi mag-exceed ng 3 million. He has no other source of income aside from his shop. For the first 3 quarters of 2018, shop's total sales amount to 3 million, while on the fourth quarter, it is 2.3 million. Below are the cost of sales and operating expenses for the quarters 2018. What is the income tax due for 2018? So, paki-write down yung mga important information. So, parang ang nangyari, nag-avail siya ng 8%. Pero mag-i-exceed na siya ng 3 million. So, hindi na siya entitled ng 8%. So, anong mangyayari? Kung nag-a-avail yung taxpayer ng 8%, hoping na hindi niya ma-exceed yung 3 million, actually na-exceed niya. So, what will happen? So, first quarter, ayan, gross sales niya is 650. Ang cost niya is 300. So, difference 350. Operating expense niya, 190. So, taxable income niya, 190,000. 8% ang ginamit daw niya. Sa second quarter, 900,000 minus 450 equals 450 minus 210 equals 240. Ang taxable income niya is 240 nga. 8% pa rin ang ginamit niya. Sa third quarter, 1,450,000. May cost na 550. So, 900 ang gross income. Operating expenses niya, 260. Ang taxable income is 640,000. Sa fourth quarter, yun na. So, nag 2.3 million siya. Ang cost of sales niya ay 900,000. 1.4 million ang gross income. Ang operating expenses is 420,000. So, 980. So, paanong mangyayari? Quarterly, nagbabayad siya ng 8%, pero nag-exceed siya ng 3 million. So, tingnan natin kung anong mangyayari. So, isulat nyo na yung mga data. Let's see. So, syempre, hindi na 8% yung kanyang babayaran kasi nag-exceed na siya. Hindi na siya qualified ng 8%. So, magiging subject na siya ng graduated rates, yung tax table natin. So kung tax table ang gagamitin, kukunin lang natin yung total revenue niya, i-add mo lang lahat. 650, 900, 140, at saka 2.3 is equal to 5.3 million. Inad lang lahat. Yung cost of sales niya, ganun din. Inad yung 300, 450, 550, and 900K. So, 2,200,000. So, ang gross income niya, difference ng 5.3 at saka 2.2 million. Siyempre, 3.1 million. Then, i-add mo din yung operating expenses. Kasi kailangan natin makompute yung taxable income. 160, 210, 260, at saka 420,000. 1,050,000. So, ang natira, yung kanyang taxable income, yung difference pag binawas mo na yung cost of sales at saka operating expenses, 2,050,000. So, based sa ating graduated tax rates, ang tax down niyan ay 506,000. So, paano nakuha yung 506,000? Siyempre, hahanapin mo yung doon sa tax table, hahanapin mo yung range ng 2,050,000 na kanyang taxable income. So, nasa 2 million to 8 million yung line niya. No? So, based doon sa line, ang basic tax na nung 2 million is 490. Tapos, magkano yung excess doon sa 2 million? 50,000. I-multiply mo ng 32% yung 50,000. So, 490 plus 36% of 50,000 is 506. So, yan na yung babayaran niya. However, nagbayad siya ng 8%. So naturally, babawas mo lang. Hindi niya babayaran yung entire 506,000 kasi may binayaran na siyang tax noon. Yun nga lang 8%. So ibabawas mo yung binayaran niya sa 8%. So ang babayaran na lang niya ay 286,000. So paano nakuha yung 220,000? So dun sa kanyang gross revenue for first, second, and third quarters, i-add mo lang yun. So, ang total nun ay 3 million. So, ibawas mo yung minimum na amount ng exemption na 250. So, 1,000. So, times 8%. So, 220 ang nabayaran niya ng tax. Okay, so just like yung mga previous slide, itong problem 3B will be your assignment. Ganun talaga para ma-practice. So, pakiantay-antay lang yung link. Anyway, madali lang gumawa ng link. I-estimate ko lang kung kailan nyo kaya matatapos ito. So, tinatimingan ko lang. No? So, basta paki-check na lang ang ating Google Classroom kung mayroon ng link. Paki-picture na lang. And then, paki-file na lang yung mga sinasubmit nyo doon sa folder kasi I might be asking them na isubmit nyo. Baka kailangan kasi ng hard copy. So, again, i-upload lang yung picture dun sa link. Problem 4A. Still on income from self-employment. Pure, sabi dyan. Kaya ibig sabihin, yun lang ang kanyang source of income. Wala nang other. Kaya nga, pure. Engineer Kala offers professional consultancy services. For the taxable year 2018, her records show a total gross receipts of 3,850,000, cost of service amounting to 1.9 million, operating expenses of 800,000 pesos. Compute for Engineer Kala tax liability for the year 2018. 2018, dyan nag-start ang ating train law. So, dyan na bago yung mga tax rates. Dati tax table lang, pero hindi yung tax table ngayon, ano yung luma. Dati, 10,000 lang masasubject to. Nag-exceed lang yung income mo ng 10,000, masasubject na to ng tax. So, ano ang gagamitin dito? Question ko yan. 8% or graduated rate? Yung tax table. Ano ang rule? Pag income from business or sa profession, kapag hindi nag-exceed ng 3 million, mamimili siya. 8% or graduated rate. Pero kapag nag-exceed na ng 3 million, sumobra na ng 3 million, wala na siyang option. Ang gagamitin na ay graduated rates. So, nasulat nyo na. Kung konti lang naman yung additional, yung important information. Ayan. So, since gagamitin mo yung graduated tax rates, sabi nga natin, you have to compute yung taxable income. At paano computein yung taxable income from doon sa revenue? Ibabawas mo yung cost and operating expenses. So, ang taxable income niya is 1,150,000. So, yung cost of service is 1.9, di ba? So, minus mo dun sa gross receipts, gross income of 1,950,000. Operating expenses niya is 800,000. So, 1,150,000. Then, tignan ulit yung inyong tax table. So, kung hindi nyo napanood yung ating previous video sa income tax on individual concepts, so, pakibalikan. Doon ko tinuro kung paano mag-compute ng tax using yung graduated tax table. So, andun din yung table. Kung gusto nyo, kung wala pa kayo, hindi nyo pa nakikita. Yun nga, ang tax table is 1,150,000. 150. So, tignan natin yun sa tax table. So, nasa ang line siya? Nasa 800. Nasa 800 to 2 million. And then, yung 800,000, ang basic tax nung range na yun ay 130,000. Then, you have to get yung excess. 1,150,000 minus yung 800,000. Ang sobra nun ay, tapos i-multiply mo ng 30% yung excess. Kasi yung sumobra dun sa 800,000, 30% yung kanyang rate. So, 105,000. So, ang tax due ni engineer is 235,000 pesos. Okay. Alam na. Problem 4B is your assignment. Ulit. Practice pag may time. Problem 5A tayo. Ganun pa rin. Income from self-employment. Purely. Walang other income. So, tignan natin kung ano naman tong case ni Mr. Blanco. Siya daw ay owner of a music lounge. For 2018, records show that gross sales and receipts amounted to 2,350,000. So, exceed yung cap na 3 million. Cost of sales was 1,050,000 while ang operating expenses niya is 550, and yung non-operating income niya, may other income na ngayon. No? So, aside from yung gross receipts or gross sales, mayroon ng other income na 175,000. Meron ng operating income. So, yan yung meron ng other non-operating income rather. No? So, yan lang naman ang nabago dyan. So, of course, pag income, alam nyo na yung treatment. No? Kasama siya sa revenue. So, it will increase your taxable income. Okay? Nagets na yung mga important information, yung sales and receipts, 2,350,000, cost of sales, 1,050,000, operating expenses, 550, pero meron siyang other income of 175. Magkano ang income tax due? So, ang taxable income is 925,000 pesos. Paano nakuha? Siyempre, yung gross sales niya, ibawas mo yung cost of sales. So, ang gross income ay 1.3 million and then yung 550 na operating expenses. So, ang net income from operation is 750 pero sabi nga natin kanina, ang bago dito sa case na to ay meron siyang other income. So, idagdag mo lang yung other income na 175. So, ang kanya ng total taxable income is 925. So, ganun ulit. Tingnan natin kung nasa ang range yung 925. Swerte, parang yung nakaraan, nasa 800 to 2 million siya na line. So, dun sa 800 to 2 million, tignan mo yung line na yon, huwag ka nang titingin sa iba. Kasi, mayroon ka nang nahanap. Huwag ka nang titingin sa taas, huwag ka nang titingin sa baba. Dun lang nasa line na yon. Yun lang ang kailangan mo. So, sabi sa line na yan, ang tax ng 800 is 130,000. And then, yung excess, 925, yung taxable income, minus yung 800, kasi may tax na yung 800 na 130. So, kukunin mo na lang yung excess, times mo ng 30%, yung nakalagay sa tax table, na tax rate ng excess. So, 37,500. So, ang total tax niya ay, ni Mr. Blanco is 167,500. Okay, alam na this. Problem 5B is your assignment. Okay, so medyo nag-exceed na tayo ng 30 minutes. Medyo iniiwasan ko ngayon ang masyadong mahabang video. So, i-cut muna natin dito. Meron pang mga susunod na problems to be uploaded this week pa rin. So, medyo iso-shorten natin yung length ng discussion para hindi umabot ng 1 hour, no? Para sa retention. So, okay, so see you sa part 2 ng income taxation on individuals application. Part 2 na nga to, may part 2 pa ulit. Part 2 ng application. Okay, so this is your teacher, Romualdo Fernandez Fredo, saying, bago ako mag-God bless, gusto ko lang ulit i-acknowledge yung mga sources ko ng mga information dito sa ating discussion. So, I am using, syempre, si Sir Winlu Balyada, kay Sir Rex Banggawan, kay Attorney Virgilio Reyes. So, yun yung aking mga ginagamit na references para sa Para sa taxation, mahirap na kasi ang taxation kasi is a law, depende sa interpretation. So, minsan nagkakaroon ng iba-iba sa interpretation ng sa mga authors, so nagkakaiba-iba. So, mas to be safe, dapat mayroon tayong multiple resources. So, thank you very much. God bless.